Welcome, beautiful humans. As always, this transmission, this live, this episode is dedicated to those who feel a lot. And you feel a lot because you are actually on the leading edge of evolution of humanity. And I really believe that my community is full of people like that. People who know that deep down, you know that the work you're doing on yourself, the path you're walking, it's not just an individual path. It's not just a path where you're becoming purer, truer, more connected to your heart, more connected to the depth of your being, but it's a path that you're walking on behalf of humanity, on behalf of our evolution as species. And you may be experiencing lately that you feel more. And sometimes it's confusing because it's like, with all this amount of work that I'm doing, with all the transformation I'm going through, am I not supposed to be more immune? And what I found is that you actually go through phases of feeling more than ever. And especially now in these times, there's something quite special that's going on. I wonder if you feel that. It feels like the veils between realities are thinner. It feels like the illusion of separation is becoming less dense. And it sounds good, and that's what we want. However, on the human level, it comes with quite a price. And the price is that you may feel at times very heavy. And this heaviness is not necessarily yours, because who are you really? But this heaviness is the heaviness of the whole, of the collective organism that we are. And if you're going through phases that may feel like even like depression, like heaviness, like dark spaces, there's something that I want to offer you that will support you, hopefully. And something that comes up a lot in my close circles, inside of Sanctuary, which is my membership, which I adore, inside of the Field, which is my close inner circle, which I also adore. And the theme that comes up to us since we were together last in person, so that's a cool thing of being in my field, is that we are regularly meeting in person. And now also the way that I'm doing it is most of the in-person things that are happening, they are actually reserved for quite a small, quite a tight community, but it's really beautiful because we are all going through the same processes, and then we are coming together and we are deepening everything. We have one thing coming up in the end of July. I'll speak about it later in this live. Very special thing is coming up in the end of July. If you've done work with me, you may be a part of it. So when we met last in person, which was in May, the theme that came up very strongly is the theme of staying. Staying. And if you are anything like me, anything like many of us, you may remember how it is to be a soul. And you may have a hard time staying here in this dense human reality. Which is understandable. My whole life I've been like hopping from a place to another, and when something is uncomfortable, I just know there's this impulse inside of me to go, just to go. It's like there are those funny memes that are going around where it's like they say you cannot run away from your problems, and then you are like in Maldives or in Bali looking for your problems, and then you feel so light and so free. But this is temporary, obviously, yeah. So we can escape, but how much longer are you gonna be escaping? If you've been escaping your whole life, You may come to a place where you're like, I see a pattern here. I think I'm running away from something. I think I don't believe in my power. I think I don't believe I'm powerful enough to hold myself in this discomfort. I'm very curious who recognizes yourself here. Please comment, please interact here. Please, if you're watching the replay, please comment. So this kind of urge, this itch to go, where are you going? You may be quite literally physically going away somewhere. I used to be a nomad for 9 years. I didn't have a home for 9 years. So I was like, boom, here, there, here, there, here, there, which created a lot of beauty. Many of you met me during that time because I was going around the world and speaking about the power of the vagina, power of the open heart, living as love, and, you know, just going around the world and bringing the teachings, the transmission of the soul. And that was a glorious time. I would not do it any other way. But at some point I realized that all this constant movement and search, because also I was searching for my home, and that's a lot of people are doing that. They're like going from place to another, searching for their home. But how can you find your home if you don't stay? Because home is your innermost truth. And if you keep running from your innermost truth, how can you find it? There's different depth to that. Because for me, when I stayed in a place which is quite uncomfortable for me, where I am now in Portugal, when I was just like, I'm gonna stay. I'm just gonna stay. That's when I found my home. That's when I bought this beautiful place where I live right now. And lately, there is an even deeper, hi Amy, there's an even deeper desire for me to surrender. And interestingly, my work has been always about surrender because it's this path of love, it's a path of the feminine, it's a path of surrender. And yet there are different degrees to that. And it's interesting that when you find your dharma, this unique thread of your life, it will weave through your whole life. Just like for me, the path of surrender weaves through my whole life. And at the same time, my surrender today, compared to my surrender a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's a whole other situation. And the surrender, path of surrender, is also very much connected to the path of being a mother for women. And there are a lot of women, there's like a whole like layer of population of women who are quite advanced spiritually, who are in that phase. It's like from mid-30s to like early 40s. Usually that's the time. Can be a bit earlier, can be a bit later, doesn't really matter, but kind of there is a layer of women who are like in that place of, should I be a mother? And then there are some women who are very nervous because there is like the whole thing of like the clock is ticking, which is bullshit, by the way, but we can talk about it more. But you don't, just to say here, you don't operate within the normal paradigm. Just remember that. You may have intuition of that. You may have some proof of that in your life. Just look for some proof of that in your life. Just a little nugget here. Look for some proof of you being not normal. And that's why your clock is not necessarily ticking. It's funny, the whole clock ticking. Really, actually quite funny. Like, there are different ways how we're being controlled by systems that we don't need to be controlled by. And honestly, you don't need to bend into realities that you don't enjoy. There's a lot here, kind of like in every sentence we could go deeper, but let me stay with the thread of surrender. Because the staying power is actually what is required for greater surrender. And that's why I mentioned the path of the mother, because when you have a child, you have nowhere to go. And that's why the light in the eyes of women who are mothers is different. And they cannot explain what it is to be a mother. And I'm not a mother yet. And that's why I only have a sense, because I'm attuned and intuitive, and I can sense, and I work with a lot of people. And I see the mothers have a very specific light in their eyes. And this light is the light of staying power. And this light is something that we all have to develop, whether you're going to be a mother or not, whether that's your choice or not. You have to give that staying power to yourself. And that is what surrender is all about. People think surrender is floating around, doing whatever you want. Surrender is about staying. It's about leaning into what is and not running away. I have to tell you, I am a professional runner. I've run from myself in every way. And then I would stay a little bit and go oh my gosh, what a transformation. I feel amazing. Okay, now let's go. Now, I understand that whole thing was a kindergarten. And the transformation that I'm experiencing now, facing the things that I did not want to face with my rapid movement, with my rapid changes in my life, it's really hard to explain that. But you may have a similar experience. That's why I want to make sure to name it, to give it language. Because when we stay in the places where it's the hardest to stay, the places that you really don't want to face, the places where you are oh no, no, you gotta be kidding me. Give me some fireworks to stay with. Give me some explosion. But no, it's those corners where there is tremendous aloneness, when there is tremendous unacceptance, where it's really hard to accept yourself, exactly there. In those very human, very dense, very tangible, very real places, very raw, that you're not there. Let me go fly with angels. Let me. We came here to be humans. We didn't come here to be souls. We are souls anyway. This is not gonna go anywhere. You are eternally free. No matter what you do, no matter what you choose, no matter how you live your life, you are eternally free. This is infinite, this whole thing, and you are infinitely free. It's not gonna change ever. You don't need to look for freedom. You don't need to even look for home. You don't need to look for a partner. You don't need to look for anything. Because in this eternal freedom, you are one with all of that. But what you have to do is stay, is accept this motherfucking lesson that you signed up here to meet. Uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. But exactly in that discomfort, leaning in. And don't take it so personally. As I said in the beginning, now we're not as separated as we used to think. Now there is a lot more of the information that we each have to process and integrate, because we are much more connected. And that's what we've always wanted. But this connection comes with all of it. All the beauty, all the heart-opening moments but also with all the heaviness that we store in the collective. In Sanctuary, we are now working very deeply with Tosif, hello. We are working very deeply with the princess archetype, which is whoa. She's intense, the princess, yeah. It's like the little girl, the all the tenderness inside. Oh my gosh. And so just a couple of days ago, I brought the transmission and the ritual for the mother, because you are also one with your mother. And when we're connecting to the collective feminine, the divine feminine through that, we have to connect to the mother, because the mother has this umbilical cord that connects us to the feminine as such. And so they receive this ritual of mother. Oh my gosh, and that brings up things, and we're going deeper and deeper and deeper. And now Sanctuary is contained. So I open it every 2 months. Like, you can come in and you can be there with us in the raw work. But now you can enter into the waiting lounge. So that's a cool thing with Sanctuary, is that even when the doors are seemingly closed, you actually can enter the luxurious waiting lounge, which is full of incredible material. So if you sign up for a cycle, you get access to the Dark Mother, the Bliss of the Wound, to the Surrender and Depth. This is like incredible material, transformational material, to Pleasure Prayer, to Magnetic Woman, to Woman Master, to the Creator, like how to create your destiny. So like you can access all this and be in like full-on practice and study mode in the waiting lounge. But if you sign up for a year, which you also can do, and enter the waiting lounge, and you receive all of that, plus you also receive some of my flagship courses like Limitless Love, Activate Woman, and also the Mother Wound Healing experience. There's a whole program actually that used to be a part of another program, but for Sanctuary you guys can access that. So this is deep work, tremendously important work, to really connect to what the mother actually. Yeah, Ilma says, love the mother work. Because through that umbilical cord, we connect to the mother as such, to the feminine as such, to the pain body of the feminine. And the reason why we are postponing our highest becoming, because that's what we're doing. We are postponing our highest becoming, which has a wisdom to it, but with the work that we are doing, you actually really get to like stop postponing by much. Like there's still, like you need to do the work. I cannot like know exactly how you're doing it, but I'm giving you all the tools to go at the pace of your soul. And the reason why we settle for the experiences that are actually nowhere near to what we know we are here to experience is because there is stuff that is unaddressed that we keep running away from. See? Keep running away from the things that actually are here to liberate you. And there are wounds. And some of these wounds, it's like they burn so much. And the closer you are to the core, the stronger it burns, the more you want to bounce out. The bigger is your life's mission. The bigger is your service. The more you're going to bounce. Because the more you're going to be able to have the access to the source of that fire, to the core within your being. So you're going to be bouncing like crazy until you learn to stay. And also in Sanctuary, we are going through the Summer of the Queen right now. And that's the power of the Queen. You can imagine the Queen who is leaned back, who just simply has things offered to her, brought to her. She's not searching for her home or her beloved or for her money or for her clients frantically all over the world. She stays and everything is offered to her. You cannot go to a queen without a gift. You cannot imagine going to a queen without a substantial offering. You don't bother a queen. And so when you step into that place of the queen inside of you, you are unbothered. You are having this access to stillness because you are at ease within yourself and in your discomfort and in your pain that the whole world is running away from. Again, this pain is our pain. And the more resilience your soul has, the closer you will come to the core of that pain. And the more you will want to bounce out. But the queen has forged herself. She has been forged in those fires. And she can stay. Stay and be with those tender parts and not abandon herself. And not jump away when everything in you is screaming. It burns, it hurts. Take me out, take me somewhere. And she stays, and she stays, and she stays, and she transforms through staying, not through running and searching, but through staying and being forged in these fires. So there may be a lot of darkness and confusion for you. There may be a lot of unknown. There may be a lot of questions. You may be questioning, you may be doubting a lot. You may be going like, what is this path that I choose? Is it the right place? Is it the right path? Is it like you may be like really bouncing into your head. And this bounce is exactly that, avoidance. It is exactly this, like jumping out of what actually matters. And what matters is what is. So, there are some tools we have to support with that being with what is. And I'm offering these tools to my clients. One of the things that we have coming up, so besides the sanctuary that is full of material and deep work you get to do on the inside, and it's incredibly affordable, by the way. What we're also doing, what I'm doing for my close circle, is a medicine retreat. And medicine is the medicine of the forest, the medicine of the earth, the medicine that really connects us to the ground, to this humanity. And it's ayahuasca. And for me, it took many, many years to open to her. I was very devoted to my tantric path, and I didn't want to mix it with any substance for many years, for 12 years. I didn't touch anything. And then when I was in Egypt last time, which also we're going to Egypt this year in November, which is going to be grand. Egypt is a place where there's we connect to a lot of those collective threads, and we collect them and we move through them. How do we understand what is bouncing away from where we need to stay and keeping healthy boundaries? You know, I have quite a unique perspective around boundaries. I believe that your boundaries are a byproduct of your being. Boundaries, the way that people speak about boundaries is very intellectual. It's very much like, so does it fit in my boundaries? Is this acceptable or not? Should I say no here? Should I say yes? And I find that this is completely unnecessary. You need to be focusing on your frequency, on your truth, on your supreme becoming, on your supreme destiny, which is closer than your breath, which is right here. When you focused on that, and you focused on being in the right frequency, all the life is simply arranging itself, and you don't need to worry about your boundaries. Not the right people are simply not coming to you, because whoever is in your field, whichever experience you're having, it's there because of your resonance with it. If there is no resonance, there's simply no experience. You know, I sometimes here I do practice partner dance, which I love, zouk, Brazilian zouk, and I love. It's so deep, it's so incredible what's happening there, especially with the dynamic of the masculine and feminine. And when I listen to other women's experiences, it's incredibly eye-opening to hear what the feminine has to deal with, because a lot of women say that they feel touched inappropriately. They experience a man. There was one particular thing women shared. A woman was saying, I would like men to wear underwear when they dance. So basically, which means that she was disturbed that she could feel his penis when he dances with her. And I saw that she was very distressed about this. And I was like, wow, like this woman is attracting these experiences so that she can heal her sexual shame. And this is a blessing, actually, that this happens. So she doesn't need to put a boundary to tell men wear underwear. What she needs to do is heal her sexuality, which is a sacred, profound, beautiful work. And it's not about shaming her. There's nothing wrong with her. But it's just an invitation by life. Like, this disturbs you. Why? Look deeper. Please, beloved, come, have a look. See? So, and that's what I see with the boundaries. And that people try to set some boundaries, but actually life is so loving towards you, you don't understand. And all the boundaries are simply set by your field. Yes, Elizabeth says, that is my experience as well, and you put it into words so well. Thank you so much, dear Sophia. It's my pleasure, my love. So, medicine. I heard the voice of the medicine in Egypt. Yeah, it was very profound. I basically ran temples, the bell comes. I ran sacred sites for us, and it's something that is quite a journey to organize that and to arrange things and then to do very specific practices that we've been doing there for thousands of years. And we connect with the temple there in a particular way. And there, in one of the temples, we were doing a very incredible ceremony. It was so wild, it was so beautiful in the most cosmic way. I opened to channeling, which I don't do. I'm not a channeler, I'm not identified with that at all. But that was the time in my life when I was channeling, and I was channeling the voice of the medicine, of the plant spirits, and they were very specific. They were like, there are technologies that will help you, Sophia, and that will help your people, and we are here because we love you and we want your attention and we want you to hear us and we want you to be supported by us. And I was like, wow, that sounds very loving and very beautiful. And I didn't know what exactly I needed help with, because at that time I was quite structured. I had a lot of plans. I thought I was surrendering, and I was, to the extent that I could at the time. But the surrender that I'm experiencing right now, and literally I'm waking up in the morning and all I have is one breath. And then the next breath, and then the next breath, and that's how I live most of my days. Anyway, so I heard that message, and then soon after that, I started to attend medicine ceremonies with ayahuasca, and oh gosh, did I need that? I needed that, and over the years, I developed my own way to work with her, because she is the abundance of Shakti, she is the feminine. And she can take you anywhere. She is so beautiful. She can take you anywhere. She's a plant, yeah? But the plant has a spirit. And the spirit is very feminine. And she is like, what? I can take you and I can show you visuals and I can show you your future and your past and the meaning and the multitude of realities, and I can take you to the highest state of consciousness, and I can break free all the crystallization and the limitations that you've created for yourself. But thank you, the orchestra. Thought. But I found a way to meet her as equals, and that's very powerful. Meet verticality to verticality, presence to presence, and really be specific with what you need. And that requires a vision, that requires third eye work, that requires verticality work, which is all the things I'm doing with my clients. And so now I decided for the first time to bring this to my magnificent group. I was just there at our venue. It's magnificent. It's just like we're held in the forest, completely protected by the forest, by the trees. Very beautiful environment. Like those of you who will be staying on the property, you have just this royal palace vibe, which actually is what you're experiencing. You being the royalty that you are, you being at the leading edge of evolution of humanity, you being here of service. That's how you are to be held, not from some arrogance, but from this real love towards yourself, this real understanding that you are sacred, you are precious, just because you are. And just because you have a heart of gold and a heart of purity, and what you do is you're not only doing it for yourself, you're really are awakening to this fact that you're not separated, and you are supporting humanity to evolve, to move to the next stage of our evolution. So you are that. If you're understanding this language, if you're understanding the whole shebang I'm talking about, you are that. Sometimes lately somehow people ask me, what do you do? And I'm completely speechless. I'm like, let's just have a small talk. I don't know what I do. I prefer, lately I really don't make any distinction between spiritual people, not spiritual people. It doesn't matter actually at all. Like sometimes it's better to be with non-spiritual people for a variety of reasons. But anyway, sometimes I'm like, how do I say what I do? But with you guys, I think I can be that open, and I can say that that's what I do. That's what we do. We are here serving the evolution of humankind by doing the honest work of purifying the heart, creating more transparency for divine light to shine through every pore, and through that reach our human potential, which means your supreme destiny, which means your supreme state of being. But what is your supreme state of being, which if not the supreme state of being of humanity as such? So anyway, this is what we're doing, medicine retreat, which we will do in the end of July, and we have 3 days in the forest. We have an incredible shaman, which I want to bring at some point and share about her more. She is my soul sister. I met her in Bali earlier this year, and when I heard her sing, I was like, okay. I recognize. I don't even need to. We didn't even talk all that much. It's like clear that there is a frequency that is anciently connected, and so I'm bringing her for our journey. She's incredible. Her name is Kira, and she has Russian and Ukrainian roots as well, like me, and basically we will do the combination of our work, the work of activating the sacred union within, activating the so Kara is asking for link to plant medicine. We don't actually have a link because it's a very small group, and it's very hand select people, and it's for people who've done something deep with me already. So I want to make it heard, and if you feel like you really have done deep work with me, then reach out, send me a DM, and we can talk about that. but you need to be prepared, and we're going to do some preparation work together. But you need to be prepared, because the way that we'll be approaching the work is with my work of Tantra and Sacred Union activation and the embodiment work. We'll be doing that and clarifying the vision, clarifying the path ahead, and then involving the medicine in a way that will clear out the blocks on the path of your Supreme Destiny. That's what we're doing. So not just coming together to have a good time and just heal a little, but very specific path, very specific for initiates, for those who came here with a big mission, with a big purpose. So beloveds, welcome to Comment Sanctuary or Waitlist. One of those. Comment that and you'll get on the Sanctuary waitlist. And again, you can get either just on for the cycle. You can sign up for the cycle for the next 2 months and get access to the world, or you can sign up for the year and also get access to the mother wound healing. And then thank you so much. And if you've done deep work with me, comment medicine, and then we'll talk and we will see if that's aligned for us to come together in the end of this month, which will be incredible. I'll be right after Boom. I'm teaching in Boom, which is a big thing because I haven't been to festivals, I haven't taught in festivals in many years, but I got this invitation and I couldn't resist. That will be right after this very expansive, very big energy that will be there, and then we will move into the medicine. So thank you, beloveds, for being here. Please connect, please share what landed for you from this live, what you want to know, what you want to do together, if anything. Blessings on this very interesting times we live in. Such important times to be together. That's what I find. Very important times to be together, to stay, as I said, to use opportunities that invite you to stay, to deepen, to forge your spirit, to trust, to surrender, to do what you have to do. And you are eternally loved.